What's going on, Scorpio? How are you doing? Hope you're doing super well. This is the Autistic Mystic, and this is going to be your reading for the remainder of August 2023. So in this reading, Scorpio, we're going to take a look at your overall general energy for the rest of August. We're going to take a look at some things you do not see coming. We're also going to get some advice from your angels and spirit guides and so much more for you regarding the rest of August 2023. But before we begin this reading, as always, Scorpio, I do want to take a moment to let you know that you are very welcome here in this space with me as we go through this reading, and I really do appreciate you in advance for taking the time to check this reading out. So if this general reading happens to resonate with you, Scorpio, definitely smash that like button, subscribe down below if you have not already for future updates. I would also really appreciate that over here. But without further ado, let's go ahead and jump into this reading. I will now pull the energy and we'll see what wants to come through for you for the rest of August 2023, Scorpio. As always, I would like to thank the angels, the interdimensional beings, and the spirit guides who are overseeing this act of divination for the sign of Scorpio. Here. Okay, Scorpio, let's go ahead and see what we got going on here for you. Okay, Scorpio, before we get into the tarot, let's go ahead and start this reading off with some pre-shuffled oracle cards, some messages from the universe for you about the rest of August. And the first one is about devotion, Krishna. Trust your spiritual guidance. Your commitment has been recognized and you are loved unconditionally here. And this is really the frequency of devotion, Scorpio, is in some sort of way is actually going to come back to bless you this month. There's a message here that Spirit actually notices the dedication and the hard work that you've been putting in when it comes to navigating your true soul's purpose in life. And Spirit really wants you to know that you are going to get an extra boost of support from the universe here when it comes to the rest of August 2023 here. And there is a message coming through about choosing love over fear, letting love guide you instead of fear here. And really honoring your own soul in some sort of way. Before you do anything in August 2023, I want you to ask yourself the question, what would someone who honored their own soul do here? Because many times that can get you in trouble in the physical realm. But, you know what I mean? So there's something about that, Scorpio. Now, there's also something here with this devotion here. Like, you're meant to step it up, especially in a career sense, or a subtle change in the way that you deal with money, or maybe looking to start a side business, or focusing on an area that you know you're meant to on a soul level, that for some reason there's some sort of physical block here. Maybe you just haven't gotten to the point of manifesting it yet. But the last thing I'll say about this, Scorpio, is that those who devote themselves to a cause with their entire heart receive help from God. And right this month, you are going to receive help from the universe. You've already done it, so you have that good karma coming. But what I get is there's another level of devotion that you're really meant to act on in the physical, instead of just letting it be some sort of spiritual devotion. Up until this point, Spirit is saying good job, but there needs to be another step. So you also have Holy Amethyst, Divine Alchemy. Move beyond current challenges and focus on what you desire here with the alchemy. And the alchemy card really is all about turning salt into sugar, being a little bit of an opportunist in your own life, and really never allowing external circumstances to govern your inner state, right? That's what alchemy is all about, turning the worst into the best, and in some sort of way you're meant to do that to like judo move, like let your opponent come to you and then just like let them slide by you in some sort of alchemizing way. Okay, so however that resonates for you is how you're meant to take it. But there is something here definitely about not being flustered with your position in the physical realm at this point. Some of you could be dealing with issues around temporary financial difficulty, especially when it comes to you actually like some sort of way actualizing your devotion, your some sort of deep thing that you've been like whatever spiritual work that you've been doing. Once again, it's time to take it into the physical here, but there's some sort of, it's like the perfect time to do it. So hold on, let's keep going. You also have Joan of Arc, voice of truth. Stand strong, focus on your purpose, release the fear of persecution, and speak your truth here, Scorpio. And this one is really coming through very strong, just spiritually. I'm getting all this energy around me right now when I hold up this card. And it's letting you know it's time to stand up against the odds here. I feel like there's something that you've been wanting to go for that doesn't seem like mathematically possible. Some sort of thing about the logical mind is convincing you to not do something that your soul is convincing you that you do actually need to do. So I would say this, like most people think it's irresponsible to put yourself in harm's way when it comes to accomplishing your soul's mission here on Earth. And you can call me a little bit of a radical for this. I think it's irresponsible to not accomplish your mission here on Earth, no matter what trouble it might get you in. Because the real trouble here is not on Earth. The real trouble is what happens when this is over. Right? You're here to get in, don't create karma, accomplish your mission, and get out. That's the Earth plane. It's a learning thing. But here's the thing. Like Joan of Arc is literally like a peasant girl from France who basically opened herself up to devotion to some sort of higher vision, and basically she was able to help the French army defeat the English army. And it was literally this thing about some sort of peasant girl from France rallying the troops that actually worked to motivate the army to defeat the English. And so there's something here about the spiritual energy, the devotion. You need to let go of the fear of persecution, and it will lead to a victory, right? Let love guide you and not fear, and you will be protected. But you do have free will. And because this is a mirror learning hologram, the universe reflects your subconscious mind. The universe reflects your thoughts back to you at all times. There's something here about feel the fear and do it anyway, but then just be prepared for what might happen, but you need to do that anyway, okay? Because there's something here about, once again, being unsure of your own ability, or not of your own ability, but your own ability to manifest it in the physical. The reason why I'm saying this is this, right? Your opportunity this month, Scorpio, is the Ace of Pentacles. This is a new beginning in the physical world, okay? I really feel like it's some sort of idea that you've had, whether it's completely changing your career for some of you, getting money going. If you don't have a flow of income, if you're just kind of living off your savings, or maybe you're out of a job, or you're not providing service here, this is really an opportunity to give your gift to the world in a physical sense. And whenever you do that, you are going to encounter a lot of resistance here, right? You are. Like the thing that's coming through is that what you need most will be found where you least want to look. Like that what you need most to accomplish your soul's mission will be found where you least want to look. And for some sort of reason, that's in the physical world for you this month, okay? Because a lot of you may need to get out of a very sketchy situation as well. So we'll see what that, when we clarify, we'll really get more details how it can be your opportunity. When it comes to your challenge, you have the Star, and there really could, once again, with fear of persecution, there could be really a challenge for you to get out of your own way and to shine. You came here to be bold. You came here to be a star. You are a star. You know what I mean? It's impossible for you to not shine. The only one that can dim your shine is you. And it doesn't mean you have to be some sort of famous person. It just means that you need to impact the world in some sort of way. And a lot of you are very, like, you want to shine, but you're afraid of it. Now, for a lot of you, it doesn't have to, some of you may be doing something behind the scenes. No one knows your face. But starting it in the physical will impact the collective. But for some of you, it really is about, in some sort of way, being afraid of healing, like working through your trauma around shining here. And and also healing a relationship as well. For some of you here, there's a lot of sketchiness going on when it comes to love relationships. I'm just going to be honest with you here. And I do feel that the sketchiness that arises, for some of you, if you have a boyfriend or a girlfriend, you're in a relationship, or even if you're just talking to, because I do feel like there is someone you're dealing with in love. I don't get a lot of celibate energy here in August, but I feel that this whole issue of devotion and persecution, like you really devoting yourself to your soul's mission and overcoming the fear of what might go wrong if you really go for it in the physical, that is really throwing your love life off. It really is, and if your partner is really there for you, then they're going to work through it with you, and that's a possibility as well. But what I'm getting here is this runs so deep that here's the thing, right? Let me show you. When it comes to your overall general energy, Scorpio, for August 2023, you have the King of Wands, you have the Seven of Swords, and you also have the Five of Pentacles here. So just to focus on you for a second, I really feel that it doesn't matter if you are in your multi-million-dollar penthouse apartment. It doesn't matter how much wealth you've accumulated right now. There's something here that's blocking your passion, the free flow of your natural, devoted energy to spirit. The King of Wands here, I really feel like you're moving away from a lack mentality, a fear-based mentality, because a fear-based mentality will always lead to more fear, even if it seems like practical, even if it seems like it's the thing your mind is telling you to do. The Five of Pentacles, I see it as something you're actually moving away from. But in order to move away from this lifeline, you need to go into the past. Or not into the past, but of actualizing the thing that you've been telling yourself you need to devote. Some of you, this is a spiritual talent, your voice, something to do with passion here. And there really is you realizing that you're screwed either way. I'm really sorry about this. There's a quote coming to my mind about you can choose, pick your poison. You can either choose the pain of discipline, of your devotion and moving through that and actually doing it in the physical, or you can either choose the pain of discipline or regret. And a lot of you, what you're dealing with here is if you do not do something, you're going to regret it, and it's going to lead you into the very place that you are avoiding. There's some sort of other quote coming to my mind, like Spirit is giving me this. It's we often meet our destiny on the very road that we took to avoid it. We are often faced with our destiny, our dharma, on the very road that we took to avoid it. And what I'm telling you is this, I'm getting a frequency very strongly that if you do not act on some sort of physical thing, if you do not implement some sort of new physical thing into your life in August 2023, the same problems that you're trying to avoid by holding on to something that seems safe, that seems less risky, you're going to play out the same unconscious patterns in a worse situation than you would if you just went for it. So it's you're screwed either way. This is going to go one or two ways. Do you want to go out on your face, or do you want to go out on your back? The universe is a boxer, crap talk. Scorpio, do you want to go out on your face, or you want to go out on your back? And it doesn't mean you have to go out. You will rise up. But what I'm getting from this is you have to even be okay with, well, what if this devotion, what if it doesn't work? Well, you need to at least give it a go here. And it's bleeding into your relationships. It really could be messing up that. And for others of you, Scorpio, there is something here if you're dealing with a fire sign. There really might be a problem with this. You may feel that someone is blocking you, a fire sign, or there may be just in general lack of relational compatibility with Aries, Leo, or Sagittarius that you may be dealing with. And if they have major placements in that outside of their big three, then that's the problem here. And your challenge also has to do with Aquarius, because the frequency of that at least, because the star has to do with Aquarian energy, and it's very future thinking. Uranian, there's something you need to rebel against here, and I feel like it's your own fear. You're making it about the external world, and it is, but it's really, so here's the thing, when it comes to what you don't see coming, you have the Six of Cups, you have the Nine of Pentacles, and you also have the Justice card here, when it comes to what you do not see coming here. So in some sort of way, Scorpio, there is more independence coming in for you when it comes to what you don't see coming, and it's going to have to do with some sort of past thing that you've been devoting your energy. What I get from this reading is the time is now to go against the odds. You will be protected. Right now, if you take the leap, you're completely protected. Why? Six of Cups has to do with the past. Energetic momentum, a gift that you were endowed with in childhood that now you need to reactivate. It doesn't have to do with childhood for some of you. It just means something that you've been devoting yourself to. Even if it's just 20 minutes a day, you're daydreaming about your dream. 20 minutes a day, you're thinking, how do I escape this current situation that I'm in? If you act on it now, it's the perfect time. It is what I'm trying to tell you. And what I'm telling you is if you do not take a physical action when it comes to this whole process of taking a risk, when it comes to your voice of truth, whatever that means for you, then it will be harder for you to implement this successfully in the future. So the more you wait, the harder it's going to get, is what I'm, at least for now. Of course, there will be new cycles in the future. So, but, like Buddha said, the illusion is that you think you have time. And it gets harder if you don't do it now, right? Like some sort of thing about that. So just be aware of this, Scorpio. There is a lot of healing. It's right on the table for you. All you have to do is grab it. That's what I'm getting here. Like there's almost like the universe is delivering you this platter, perhaps in the form of a plan, a decision, a plan to take some sort of new physical action. And it's like the universe is here, and then you're just like, yeah, but like, what if I grab it and then like it's like poisoned? Or what if I grab the food and then like you take it away and then I'm like you're giving yourself every reason to not grab the platter that's in front of your face. And once again, remember the situation about you're damned if you do, you're damned if you don't. Okay, let's say this platter goes away, the opportunity to act on your devotion and voice of truth, this platter goes away, and you're just stuck back in the life that you have been living in. You don't make a change this month. Well, then it seems like you're going to be running into the same exact issue with a different platter that you've already been dealing with, but it's going to be in a way that makes you can't live with yourself, like this, like for example, me doing this channel, speaking my truth, even though sometimes I do get persecuted for it in my own unique way, even if it's an internal thing that I'm working through, maybe not even in the external world. I sleep like a baby at night. I sleep like a baby at night because I was willing to stand up against the odds when it comes to my soul's mission. And even if it didn't work out, you'd still sleep better. There's something you can't... Yeah, so with that being said, when it comes to your advice, this is where it gets really interesting, and I feel like love is somehow... could be messing this up for you, to be honest with you. So when it comes to your advice, you have the 8 of Cups, you have the 4 of Cups, and you have the Page of Swords here when it comes to your advice here. And for some sort of, the first thing that's coming through, Scorpio, is you need to look at how your decisions to basically be held back in August, your decision to not just give it your all with something is influencing your partner here to maybe be less attracted to you or vice versa. Okay, if you try to deny, suppress, you let fear overtake you, there is a danger here where you make it about your partner and you start to say, well, I'm just not satisfied here. You're projecting it for some of you. For others of you, that's not the case, and it's just going to be your partner loses attraction for you and you're not understanding why, because it's like this chaotic energy within you that needs to be released. Here's the thing. You run the danger of, in the rest of August, you run the danger of creating excess potential. Excess potential is created when there is an over accumulation of energy that doesn't know where to go. It doesn't have a release valve, right? And there's only one way to release this valve, or there's multiple ways to release the valve, but it's only through this frequency. Taking an action in the physical about this devotional thing. And your partner, whoever you're dealing with in love, is going to be so bothered by this excess potential, and even the universe at large will be as well, because the excess potential of your voice of truth, your devotion, of whatever vision you have, is the excess potential can be transmuted through action and through intention, Intention, devotion with no action creates excess potential. Sometimes that excess potential can help you in the long run, but it's a risky game that you play, i.e., someone who has a plan to be a famous rapper They record 1 million songs, but they don't release a song for 10 years. That creates excess potential. What's going to happen is after 10 years of you mastering your craft, of being devoted to it, but letting the persecution hold you back from putting it out there, just wait for the right time, blah, blah, blah. What's going to happen is when you release that song, either no one's going to listen to it or everyone's going to listen to it. It's probably going to be the latter, right? That's how excess potential works here. And I'm just trying to explain something. It may be difficult. Just tune into the frequency of it. Don't get lost in my words here. I'm trying to translate this frequency for you. So yeah, I don't even know. I just kind of got lost in that. But here's the thing. Let's keep going and let's really get into this reading now. So let's clarify why the Ace of Pentacles is here in your opportunity. A risk. Yeah. This ain't like it's not a risk. Oh my God, man. Yeah. Alright, I'm getting a lot here. So the Ace of Pentacles, when it comes to your opportunity, Scorpio, I'm getting a few different stories, so I have to tell them to you, or energies that's happening here. This is your opportunity here, Scorpio, when it comes to the Ace of Pentacles here. So the Two of Wands has to do with a risk, okay? It has to do with a safer option existing behind you and a dangerous, seemingly dangerous option in front of you. You need to make a choice. The opportunity is to make a choice. Take a poop or get off the pot. Can't just be sitting there with your newspaper all day. Excess potential, like the whole building is going to collapse, The whole reason, no, I'm not going to say that's disrespectful. Once again, your opportunity is to realize that you're damned if you do, you're damned if you don't, Scorpio. Once again, no matter what choice, what did I tell you? Whatever choice you make here, you're going to be in the same frequency. So you might as well do the one that's more exciting. You might as well do the one that your soul is hungry for. You might as well do the one that you are feeling love about. The Queen of Cups is your opportunity. Be gentle with yourself. Overlook your own shortcomings. No one views your failures or your shortcomings in the same way that you do, Scorpio. And I feel like could be some sort of perfectionist tendency. You don't really want to fail at whatever this devotion, voice of truth that needs to come out into the physical is. And your opportunity here is to do it because you love it anyway. Whatever this is, whether it's singing, whether it's a business thing, whether it's something that the universe has put on your heart, you have been devoting yourself to it, but you're not taking physical action with it. There's something here about, do it not because of the result that you're going to get in the external world, but because this is what you are here to do. How do you know what your purpose in life is? Passion is your purpose in life. And once again, this can get very subversive very quickly if you try to keep ignoring this. And once again, there's also something here about love in your opportunity here. With all this energy, there could be an opportunity to get less serious about love. And that's what I got at first, and the Four of Cups just came out as I'm thinking about this, so it's, there's something here, Scorpio, about not using love as a scapegoat to not do this either. I don't know what that means. There could be something about you don't want to ruffle feathers in the relationship that you're in, but that's all bullshit. That's an excuse, it's not real, so... Yeah, let's keep going and let's see why the star is your challenge. Why is it star your challenge? The star in your challenge is clarified by the Temperance card, the Ace of Swords, the Moon, the Five of Wands, the 10 of Swords, and also the 4 of Pentacles here when it comes to your challenge. So, I get that you really have to dive deep into the unknown here. You really need to just take the sword of truth and dive into the unknown. The Moon has to do with it's coming through as the unknown. You also have the 5 of Wands, the 10 of Swords, and also the 4 of Pentacles here. And there is something around like competition. This could be, for a lot of you, whether you're leaving a relationship or you're leaving, for a lot of you, it's a career. If you're switching your career, this is you feeling your challenges that you'll feel defeated. You'll allow small minds to feel like they've defeated you, is what I'm getting, like a false front. I'm getting this very strongly, Scorpio. There's something about if you leave your current successful profession, or even if you're doing nothing, But if you start taking an action, whether this is coworkers, someone around you, will almost laugh at you, and they'll be like, wow, like Scorpio quit. You know, like Scorpio quit whatever they're doing. Or like they're, for some of you, this is what it is. There's certain coworkers that will like look, if they get knowledge about what you're doing, they'll like laugh at you or something like that. And you can only use that as motivation here, but you have to know it's false. The only reason that they're criticizing you for taking a leap is because they want to do it themselves. They don't have the courage, so they're going to like stick their nose and chin in the air, you know, like some like British bitch. And it's just like, yo, none of this, you can't do this pomp, like, so it's fake. But here's the thing. There's some sort of really deep fear about annihilation and competition here. And I just really, once again, you got to take some pressure off yourself here with this goal. I understand you're ruled by Pluto and Mars, and it can be a really, life is a serious matter to a Scorpio. But remember that this is a form of simulation. It is a form of illusion, and everything that you think is so serious right now when it comes to your soul's mission really is doesn't even matter. And I'm giving you that message because sometimes you need to release excess. I don't know. Okay, let's keep going. Let's clarify why the King of Wands is here and your overall general energy, Scorpio. All right, King of Wands, what's it doing? King of Wands and your overall general energy is clarified by the Fool, the Justice card, and also the Emperor here when it comes to your overall general energy. Yeah, if you express yourself with confidence, if you release the fear of persecution, speak your truth, remain devoted, and not worry about what's going to be the negative here, then once again, this is a golden opportunity. You are absolutely protected. The Justice card is here and what you don't see coming, surrounded by good cards. The Justice card is right in the middle of the Emperor and also the Fool here. You have spiritual and you have physical protection here to move forward at this time. There could be someone around you that's very beneficial. Could be a King of Wands. Could be an Aries that you're dealing with that will help you with this. Doesn't have to be, it's a man or a woman. But once again, right now, taking an action, a new beginning, when it comes to your passion, you're protected. Now, for some of you, I'm not getting this for all of you. For some of you Scorpios out there, for some of you, there is something here about you, something to do with your sexuality is being challenged, and you're meant to, some sort of new action will restore justice to that. And I did a reading for you. It's not going to apply to most of the Scorpios, but like I'm getting like even 40 to like 30% of the Scorpios is the number Spirit's giving me right now. There's something here about, once again, like a lack of sexual satisfaction, like being sexually dissatisfied here. And I don't know why it has to do with a woman here. Once again, for those of you that are not straight, whether you're a gay Scorpio or you're a bisexual or whatever you are Scorpio, there really is something about you playing yourself and being too rigid when it comes to that. Not for all of you, but that's what I get. Let's see why let's see why the Five of Pentacles is here for you. Once again, there's something about a healing. This healing experience could be a sexual experience for some of you. If that's what this is what you have going on, and you're not really focused on, you know, this whole. I think you are though. Let's see why the Five of Pentacles is here. Just know that everything's connected, right? Yeah. So let's see. The Five of Pentacles is clarified by the Six of Wands, the Three of Cups, and also the Six of Swords here when it comes to your overall general energy, Scorpio. So, hold on. The camera's about to die. So with this energy, Scorpio, here, this is really coming back to the alchemy thing. This is how it's coming through. Divine alchemy, turning the worst situations into the best situations by being exactly where you need to be. The Five of Pentacles is a very lack situation. It's a very bad situation, seemingly to the mind. there's something here about you completely turning that around and making it your biggest victory. Once again, remember what I told you about the very place that we need to look the most for our own soul's expansion, for our own devotion, whatever it is, will be the very place we need to look will be the place that we want to avoid the most. And just to give you an example of like how I've used alchemy in this way that I feel is coming up for you, the autistic mystic, the autistic side of me, the mystic side of me, ridiculed, thought to be shot, stupid, just by people that I've been around growing up, and therefore I invalidated it. I made it into a negative thing. And I've used alchemy on that to embrace the very real core of my essence, and instead of viewing it how other people around me view it, as, oh, negative, or how I used to view it myself, negative, I actually just made it into the best possible thing ever. So there's something here about whether this is, for some of you, this has to do with coworkers, as I'm getting. Once again, there's something here about like people, like for some of you, definitely, family members, friends. I don't really get lover, though. Not a lover, not someone you're having sex with, but family members, friends, coworkers, laughing at your aspirations and really might take joy in seeing you fail from this. You need to cut those people out of your life, first of all, is what it's saying here. If you don't hang around people who treat you like the person that you really are, you will forget who you really are, right? So there is something about that. But there's something here about, instead of thinking that the negative situation that you're in, for me, it was like being autistic and being a mystic, like just always being like in tune with spirit, even if I don't want to. Instead of viewing it as a problem, whatever situation like you're dealing with this devotion thing, no one wants to read a boring success story, Scorpio. No one wants to read a boring success story. No one cares. No one cares, yo. No one cares. Whatever you got going on here, the universe, first of all, the universe cares. That's why the whole devotion thing is, you're getting extra recognition, protection to act on this portal. The universe cares. People will care. You care. So, who cares? I don't know. Let's also just see why the Justice card is here and what you don't see coming. Because I feel like this whole process is going to go way better than you're thinking. Because you have all this spiritual, physical protection. Wow. And that's not going to be there forever, is what Spirit's telling me. Of course, you can get it. You can come back around. But hey, why is the Justice card here? Remember that the Justice card is the Justice card is clarified by the Two of Swords, the King of Wands, and also the Six of Cups here when it comes to what you don't see coming here, Scorpio. For some of you here in love, there definitely is something coming to an end with you in a fire sign. Once again, for some of you here, you're really being called to focus more on your devoted path, voice of truth, something in the physical world. I'm getting it has to do with money, or more of like a mission that you're going on here. And when it comes to what you don't see coming here, Scorpio, for some of you here, this is going to involve you getting a little less serious with someone. Doesn't mean you have to end the relationship, but just saying, hey, I need some space to bounce. Because if you don't do that, then I see you having, I see you actually, like, once again, damaging your relationships by not doing what you, like, if you try to make others happy before you make yourself happy, you're going to make everyone around you miserable. So you might as well fill up your own cup first. That's the first thing. The second thing with this, Scorpio, from now until the end of August with this, is clarifying the Justice card. You are protected to act on your passion here, something that you've been sitting with. Once again, the Six of Cups came through as the past, something you've been devoting yourself to, even if it's just inwardly. The King of Wands, expression, voice of truth, devotion, really letting it out in the physical, though, not caring what people think about you. And the Two of Swords is here as well, in what you don't see coming. Remember that whole thing about you're damned if you do, you're damned if you don't? You're very protected right now. You might as well take a shot. Yeah, that's still here. And once again, what this is telling me is that if you do not implement something in the physical, if you do not devote yourself, if you do not take an action when it comes to your own voice of truth, using alchemy and devotion, you know what this is you need to do, then it's not going to be as easy for you for a little bit. You know, there's all these portals of opportunity. You want to capitalize on them when they're here. And it just seems to me, once again, there is something here about, it's like you can't have your cake and eat it too. Sometimes you need to focus on your career, and your love relationships are going to suffer. That's just how it is. It's just how it is. You know what I mean? And hold on. Let's see why the Four of Cups is here in your advice. Yeah. Okay. Four of Cups is clarified by the Star, the Queen of Pentacles, the Lovers, and the Ten of Cups here when it comes to your advice here. And once again, this all has to do with your challenge. There's something, the Queen of Pentacles here has to do with the physical world. There needs to be a renewal in it when it's something to do with that you love here. And success is not about what you say yes to, it's about what you say no to. Here is what it's coming through as. So there needs to be a change when it comes to how you operate in the physical realm. For a lot of you, this definitely has to do with making sure that your own hesitancy when it comes to this devoted path that you're meant to go on, predestined, like, and the portal's open, you need to make sure that you realize that this is going to very negatively affect your love relationships if you don't take some sort of action that you know you need to take. And what this is saying as well is things will come full circle for you. You have the Ten of Cups here. So I feel like, once again, there's a very weird situation with love going on as it's related to all of this. Some of you, you're going to act on this and your partner is going to support you and it's going to be all fine, actually. But if you don't, then you create the excess potential is what I'm getting from this as well. But once again, for others of you, it's really asking yourself, well, you only have so much time in the day. What are you going to devote yourself to? And love may need to take a back seat, if I'm being honest, more than you've planned. Maybe not completely. That's what I got for you, Scorpio. I really hope this reading helped you. And with that being said, I'll talk to you next time.